Cette vidéo est sponsorisée par Dinveo, le futur dans le domaine des compléments alimentaires. Au-delà du fait qu'ils composent leurs produits avec les ingrédients les plus purs, les plus efficients en termes de principes actifs et les plus naturels possibles, ils sont également les premiers sur le marché à proposer une matière issue de l'intelligence artificielle, le PeptiStrong. Le PeptiStrong est un hydrolysat de protéines qui permet d'optimiser la croissance des fibres musculaires et leur récupération après effort, et hydrolysat veut simplement dire qu'il est sous une forme prédigérée et donc plus rapidement absorbable par l'organisme. Il est obtenu à partir de fèves et en s'appuyant sur un procédé complexe mais naturel et garantissant un résultat même à faible dose. Profitez de 10% de remise avec le code LASSUEUR10 sur tout le site d'Inveo où vous retrouverez le PeptiStrong en suivant le lien en description et en commentaire épinglé.
Okay, so Ilya, if you're ready, let's go.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right. Okay, so Ilya, your life is absolutely crazy now. You're a superstar, you make a lot of money, you're a UFC champion. Can you explain to us like what it's now compared to what it was before? What were the biggest changes in your life?
Of course, there was a big changes in my life, but money is not the most important thing, right? In this whole story, I was gifted more than money. I was gifted by experience and by moments. So I'm really thankful with all the moments that God gave me, and I prepare myself to keep going, to keep moving and achieve new goals.
And that's exactly the questions I wanted to ask you after that is, so now that you've achieved your goal of being a UFC champion, you're a superstar, you have millions of people that are following you. And one thing that worries me is what happened to Conor McGregor, it happened to Mike Tyson, it happened to Tyson Fury, to every legend is once they reach their goals and they become superstar and they make money, they have followers, they lose focus, they lose the motivation. What will you do to not lose this motivation?
So I don't know. I feel like I can't say like I'm different than anyone else, but it's like I'm just doing my thing, you know. I'm just working to be happy every day, because any result guarantees you to be happy for a whole life. So I compete with myself every day. I try to achieve new goals. I try to stay motivated, disciplined, and the most important thing, I try to compete all the time. I'm a competitive person. The competition brings me to this level, so I want to keep doing it.
Did you stay with the same team from the beginning, from where you started MMA?
Yeah, exactly. Since the first day I started in the sport, I'm in the same team. I keep with the same team.
And is this team, so that's crazy because a lot of people would say you have to go to the big camps, to the big training camps with the superstars. How do you find everything you need in this team that the people didn't know before?
So I don't know. In my case, it was like I was doing for example, a list like what's the type of fighter I wanna become. So then I do a schedule for my whole month. How this fighter that I want to become needs to train, and I do a whole week schedule. Right? I do, for example, I want to be a complete fighter. I want to fight and I want to be good in striking and wrestling and ground game. How I have to work. So I do a schedule. I do like maybe Monday in the morning, I go to run because every fighter needs a conditioning. In the evening, I train, I don't know, boxing techniques. Next day, I train wrestling trainings, and I mix this kind of things until I become the fighter I want to become.
Okay, yeah, so it's all about organizing everything in your life, and
Everything
you are the master of
about
everything.
Organization, and you can organize yourself from every place in the world. Every place in the world. So whatever you are, it doesn't matter what your conditions are. It doesn't matter where you come from if you know where you're going. So just keep going.
And at the beginning of your career, professional career, you were finishing a lot of people by submission. And after like 8 fights, you started to knock everyone out. What changed?
So I don't know what's changed to be finished my fights from that way. But don't forget that fights ago, before 2 fights, I had a submission in the second round. I submit my opponent too, so I have submissions too.
That's
It
true.
depends on the strategy. What I had in the past with all my opponents. So yeah, it's about the strategy all the time. Maybe in the future I have to take someone down and submit him. You never know.
Yeah, and because that's something people forget is you're really, really good on the ground also. But on the with the boxing part, what makes you so different? You were able to knock Alexander Volkanovski out easily, it seems. It's craziness. What's the difference, and what do you have so different than everyone else with their fists?
So to be honest, worked in my boxing since I was 18 years old with my brother. My brother was my coach in boxing, and we were very concentrated on the striking part. So yeah, I improved a lot, and I have a lot of development since I'm 18 years since I was 18 years old. So yeah, I did many changes in my style, and at the end, I got this version of myself.
Yeah, that's a pretty good result. And of course, it's the question I have to ask you, of course, about Max Holloway. But so as a fan, I have to admit, as a fan, sometimes I'm a little frustrated because we want to see this fight and there's conditions that you want to have the BMF title on the line also. And so there's a little bit of a mediatic war between you and Max Holloway. Can you explain how you're doing it? Like, is it for psychological? Is it to show that you are the one in power? Can you explain how you're functioning?
I'm not doing any of that for, I don't know, for something mental, right? I just do it because it's my job. I just have a clear message for him, which is I want to fight him no matter the belts, no matter what. He's been talking a lot, so he has to be the next one. He has to be the next one. He has to be. So hopefully he signs the contract and he will be able to show up on whatever the date is.
And I can tell that
that's the fight.
Yeah, I can tell that you're smiling while you're saying that, so it must excite you as well.
Yeah, of course it's exciting me. Max Holloway, he's been a great champion and great fighter, a legend for the UFC. He's been fighting the UFC, I don't know for how many years. He's the only one in the featherweight division that he fought with Conor McGregor, he fought with Volkanovski, and he's gonna have to face me. So you have to give the credit to the guy. Yeah, for sure. I respect him a lot, but at the end of the day, we have to share the cage, and the best wins. And we all know who is the best.
So you have your future that's ahead of you. Everything seems bright for you, but can you tell us, like, for the next fights and for the next years, we know you envisioned your KO against Volkanovski. Can you what do you see in the near future?
So for sure I'm gonna fight until the end of the year. So hopefully I'm gonna face Max Holloway. Then we're gonna bring the UFC to Spain. We're gonna do the biggest event in the UFC history in the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully we bring some big name too. So that's the two fights I have for the near future, and I'm looking forward with a lot of focus. So
okay,
yeah.
And what would
bright,
be,
as you said.
And what would be the, after these two fights, like, is there records that you want to break? Like, for the next 10 years, you want to become 10 times defend the belt. What do you want to do as records?
Yeah, my goal and my work is to entertain the fans. So I just want to do the fight that it's really entertaining for the fans. So that's the type of fights I'm looking for my future. So we'll see who's gonna be in the top on that moment, because you never know.
That's true. It can change fast. Okay, the last little question is about Sean O'Malley, because we know that's always also someone that you want to face. How would you do to beat him and maybe knock him out? Because he's very long, he's very quick, he moves very well. How would you beat him? Oh,
however I want. That, to be honest, however I want. I can do with him whatever I want. I can just play with him, like how you want me to finish you. It's like the same question I asked all the guys that I'm facing. I'm like, just tell me how you want me to finish you, and I can do that.
Mystic Ilya.
He's a world champion. I respect him, but he has nothing to do with me.
Well, Ilya, thank you very much for your time, and maybe see you soon.
Mate. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day.
See you soon, my friend.
See you soon.
Bye. You too.
Yeah.